Okay, we're going to start chapter 2. This chapter is very different in the fact that it gives you a very broad section on the anatomy terms, and then it goes into oncology, which will kind of cover as two separate things, but they're both going to be covered on the test, and I'm going to show you through these slides which terms you're going to need for the quiz this coming week. Okay, we are going to start off with the organization of the human body. Again, very broad terms, and it's going to start at the beginning and kind of narrow itself down. In this case, it starts at a cell and then goes larger into organs and organ systems. Here are some definitions. They will be matching on the test. Again, a few more terms here, and I'm just moving through the slides quickly. We are going to cover all of these different terms. You do not need to know any of these in order to label the structures on the test, but I have a strong suspicion that all of you know all these already because you probably have had multiple biology classes already. Again, we're going to just briefly cover this in our quiz in terms of multiple choice. And here's again just a broad overview of the different cavities of the body. We will be referring to them as cavities. We won't be talking about, in the skull region. We're going to talk about the cranial cavity. You don't need to know these in terms of being able to label them for the quiz, but do understand and look at them carefully and understand which portions go together. So if you notice, you have several cavities in one category, dorsal. You have the thoracic cavity, abdominal and pelvic cavity. These two combine the abdominopelvic cavity, and then all three of these are called the ventral cavities. These are going to be the combining forms that you're going to need to know for the quiz. Adeno, cyto, epithelio, fibro, histo, karyo, lipo, myo, neuro, organo, sarco, systemo, and viscero. Make sure you know those. Make sure you know how to spell them correctly for the test. Well, for the quiz and the test. Couple more that they go through here. Cancero, carcino. Notice that there are two up here on the same row. That's because they both mean the same thing. They can be used interchangeably, but you'll find that they talk about things being carcinogenic. So they're not going to be cancerogenic, and you'll see that later on in the chapter. Etio, no, iatro, leo, onco, patho, rhabdo, and somato. Here are different combining forms for colors: chloro, chromo, cyano, erythro, leuco, melano, and xantho. Please be sure you know which term goes with which color, because you will have to do that. Prefixes, remember we said every chapter is going to have a section of prefixes and suffixes. For this one, dia, dis, hyper, hypo, meta, neo, and pro. Suffixes. Wow, look at all, these three all mean the same thing. Al, ik, and us all mean pertaining to. Site, gen, genesis, genic, logist, logi, oid, oma, osis, pathy, plasia, plasm, sarcoma, cyst, and stasis. The last thing I want to point out is in your book you're going to have terms built from word parts, which means you can use the root word, the prefix, and the suffix to build a term, just like the ones that are shown here. And then of course you're going to see on this slide here we have terms not built from word parts. What does that mean? It means you're going to have to memorize those. You can't break them down by using your slashes and trying to put the word together. So every chapter has built from word parts and not built from word parts. So study this entire section, the anatomy part as well as the word root parts for the quiz.